Hare Krishna. Sorry, it takes a little time to set up sometimes. So very grateful, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So I hope all of you are doing good and in good health. And your last week, we had discussed the verse number 1 in detail. So today we'll go from verse number 2 onwards. So we'll do a little kirtan before that, and then we'll get started. Does everyone have the white paper that I had given last week? Thank you. Simple Hare Krishna kirtan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe, Madan Mohan Radhe, Jai Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe, Jai Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe, Jai Radha Gopi Vallabha Radha Gopi Vallabha Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Krishna, Jai Krishna, Jai you have the prayers in the first page. Or if you have Bhagavad Gita, they are in the introduction, after the introduction section. You can see the prayers. You can see the prayers, and after the preface, page number 1. Page number 1, you can see the prayers, right? Om Ajnana Timirandasya. The same thing I also given the paper, print out. So let's recite this one together. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurom Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhisham Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadadi Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnava Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhobhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Please everyone recite after me as loudly as you can. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Namah Pankajanaಭaya Namah Pankajamaline Namah Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangre Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha. Namo Brahmanyaya Devaya Gau Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagaditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Please everybody lift your hands. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Kum karoti vachalam pangum langayati girmit kripahatamaham vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Shri Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Om apavitro pavitro va sarvavastham gatopi va yat smaret pundarikaksha sabhyabhyantaram suche. Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu. Hare Krishna. So thank you all, Prabhuji and Matajis, for coming one more Sunday morning. And it's so enlivening to see so many Prabhuji and Matajis here, so many families coming Sunday morning and spending this time to learn Bhagavad Gita. And most importantly, I can see so many youngsters, right? Because today there is a big misconception in India about spirituality. People think spirituality is for old people, or spirituality is only for ladies, right? Or people who practice spirituality will run away from, here and go into Himalayas, right? That's what many people think. But actually, spirituality is for young people. Because what will old people understand? I'm not insulting or ridiculing any old person here. But my father is also old. He tells me many a times that I can't concentrate. I can't focus. I can't give my 100% when I'm listening to anything, right? When we are young, we can do that. We can hear focusedly. We can take up some tasks. We can learn, right? But when as you become old, when I'm becoming old, right? The time will come when I can't remember a lot of things. My instinct will not work so fast, right? So it's very important. Certain activities we should start when we are young. But it's okay if you have not started if you're old also. At least now you've started, right? Because what are old people doing today? What are old people doing today? Definitely not many are planning for the next life. They don't even know that there is a next life, which is what Krishna is going to explain in Bhagavad Gita. When you go into second chapter, he's going to explain what is next life, how does it occur, how do you get it, who decides your next life, right? Do you have a choice in choosing your next life? All these things will come when he starts answering. But at this point, Nana, can you ask them to keep quiet and come back? It's a lot of noise. Yeah. So we finished the first verse of Bhagavad Gita. Does everyone, did you all try to recite it, learn the verse? Yeah? Okay. Without seeing, close your eyes, all of you. Okay, let's recite the verse together. Dharma kshetre kurukshetre. I said together, not after me. After me is very easy. Let's do it together. Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta viyutsavaha mamaka pandavaschaiva kim akurvata sanjaya. I watched what did not do it. So did you finish the small assignment I had given of hearing the discourse on the first SSR session? Lift your hand if you finished it. Okay, a lot of naughty students in the class. You have not left your college yet. Right? Please, my humble request is this is a class being conducted in the most best professional way, where we want to see a clear outcome. The outcome is change in your consciousness and your attitude towards God. That will only happen if you follow what is being told. Right? If you don't follow it, then you're wasting your time. I'm telling now itself. You will not get anything out of it. You will hear some Mahabharat points. You'll go back and tell 10 friends, and then you'll say Haribol. That's all will happen. Right? I am not wasting my time by coming here in the morning. I have so many things to do, like all of you. You all are householders, your office, your children, you have problems. I have every one of those. Right? I'm giving this time here as a seva, but I also want some outcome out of it. The outcome is nothing except change in your consciousness. And that will happen only if you follow some things that I'm telling. Number one, finish the homeworks. Whatever I'm giving you, finish it that week itself. Don't keep a backlog. Right? Not that last month study for the whole year. It's not going to work here. Another thing, please chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra one round every single day. That's mandatory. If you're not doing that, then you're simply getting philosophy. Right? See, religion and spirituality, both of them need some things. Right? Religion without philosophy is sentiment. Religion without philosophy is sentiment. Meaning, you touch this, you'll get sin. You don't touch that, you'll feel nice. All that you know what I'm saying, right? Rituals. Religion without philosophy is sentiment. Right? Religion with only philosophy is mental speculation. Meaning, sit down and start analyzing all philosophy here and there. Both are needed. You need philosophy also. You need sentiment also. You need some rituals also. Both of the things are needed, right? So how this works, you will not understand. But if you just follow what we are discussing here, like month one, we are going to do one round at least of Hare Krishna Mantra. After 2 weeks, at least 2 rounds. After 4 weeks, at least 4 rounds, right? Like that, we're going to increase the number of rounds. And if you do it sincerely, along with the philosophy that we are doing here, you will see a tremendous transformation in your consciousness. Otherwise, it will simply be mental speculation. Speculation, mental. You know what I'm saying, right? You sit down here, philosophy. It's like entertainment. A lot of people have different levels of entertainment. World shows, entertainment by dances, pubs, discourse. That is level 1. Right? Level two is you going into movies and doing something on the stage. Level 2. Highest entertainment among the entertainments is sitting down and hearing philosophy. That's the greatest entertainment, which will give you so much joy. But I'm not an entertainer here. I'm sure you're not coming here to get entertained. So let's follow the rhythm that I'm requesting you all. And please write down notes so you can repeat it, you can remember it. As I said, after finishing each chapter, we'll have an examination and passing mark is 80%. And I'll not tell which day I'm going to conduct that examination. And I'm sure nobody will turn up that day. We'll tell in advance. Hare Krishna. So in the first verse, we understood few things. I'm not going to recap the whole thing, but we understood few things. Is the attitude of Dhritarashtra. How he differentiated between his children and his brother's children. Mamaka, Pandavas, Chaiva. And he never said, we all Kurus. He said, Mamaka, Pandavas, Chaiva. And he wanted to make sure that the war happens. And you all heard how Lord Krishna tried to negotiate and made sure the war happens, right? Did he try to make sure the war happens or doesn't happen? He tried to make sure what doesn't happen, but he also made sure the war happens. And he also made sure that the clear outcome of the war is there, which is all Pandavas should be safe no Kaurava should be left, and war should get over in 18 days. And all these three things indirectly were asked by Duryodhan himself, right? Yeah. So another thing is another thing that we learned in that first verse is the greatness of Bhishma, how great a warrior Bhishma was, and how much Kauravas depended. And small two corrections, out of the flow, I forgot. Prabhuji also helped me there. Is Akshohinis, it was 11 and 7, not 13 and 9. I told it wrong last week. 11 Akshohinis of Kauravas and 7 Akshohinis of Pandavas. Akshohini means a big number of, like in lakhs, crores, like that. So another thing is Ekadashi is, the Gita Jayanti Ekadashi comes on the 11th day, like we discussed. I by mistake told 9th day. So Bhishma was brought down, and after that, Bhagavad Gita was recited to all of us through Sanjay. We discussed last week. And that is when we celebrate Gita Jayanti. Right? Okay. So now we are going into the second verse. Yeah. So you have the 1.2. Repeat after me. Sanjaya Uvacha Dristva tu Pandavanikam Yuddham Duryodhanastada Acharyam Upasangamya Raja Vachanam Abravit. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Please repeat after me. Sanjaya said, O King, after looking over the army arranged in military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher and spoke the following words. Right? So I'll read the purport quickly. Please focus as I read it. Dhritarashtra was blind from birth. Unfortunately, he was also bereft of spiritual vision. He knew very well that his sons were equally blind in the matter of religion. He was sure that they could never reach an understanding with the Pandavas, who were all pious since birth. Still, he was doubtful about the influence of the place of pilgrimage. And Sanjaya could understand his motive in asking about the situation on the battlefield. Sanjaya wanted, therefore, to encourage the despondent king and thus assured him that his sons were not going to make any sorts of compromise under the influence of the holy place. Sanjaya therefore informed the king that his son Duryodhana, after seeing the military force of the Pandavas, at once went to the commander-in-chief, Dronacharya, to inform him of the real position. Although Duryodhana is mentioned as a king, he still had to go to the commander on account of seriousness of situation. He was therefore quite fit to be a politician. But Duryodhana's diplomatic veneer could not disguise the fear he felt when he saw the military arrangement of the Pandavas. So once again, the translation, Sanjaya said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in the military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher and spoke the following words. Now, you see what happens when, I'm sure we all watch cricket, many of us watch cricket. Just imagine the batsman is holding the bat like this, and like dal ball away. Right? How will the bowler feel? Should I throw the ball or no? He's like scared, right? I mean, like the guy is like holding the bat like this. Come on, I'll dal ball. Right? So that's exactly what situation was with Duryodhana. Duryodhana is holding the ball, Pandavas are standing like this. Right? So the formation of the army was so aggressive that it shocked Duryodhana. And who formed the army of Pandavas? Drishtadyumna, the son of Drupada, the brother of Draupadi. Yes. Now, he formed the army so aggressively, the way it was pointed, like any side you attack, they're going to conquer. And looking at that, Duryodhana really was shivering. My God, what a formation it is. Even though it is 7 Akshohinis, it looks like 70 Akshohinis. Right? The way they formed the army. And here, Sanjay is making sure that he's preparing many things out of Dhritarashtra. What is he preparing Dhritarashtra for? He's preparing Dhritarashtra for a gory outcome that is going to come out. So slowly he's kind of inciting fear also, saying that see what your younger brothers have, sons have done. The army is so dangerously kept. And he's also telling that, okay, war is going to happen, don't worry. Your son is all preparing for that also. So he also, is preparing Dhritarashtra for taking accountability of the decisions that he has made. Right? Only because of his decisions, the war is happening. Everybody tried to explain him. Can you tell me how come such a pure book like Bhagavad Gita is starting with the first word? What is the first word of Bhagavad Gita? Dhritarashtra Vacha. Right? How come such a pure book is starting with such a polluted fellow's name? Dhritarashtra. Right? It could have been Bhagavan Vacha or Vyasa Vacha or something very auspicious. You want to hear auspicious name. I'm sure Dhritarashtra is not any auspicious name. Have you heard of any Dhritarashtra in this community? No, right? Nobody keeps his name as Dhritarashtra. So how come Bhagavad Gita is starting with Dhritarashtra? Can anybody think about it? What comes to your mind? Just share what comes to your mind. All of us are blind. Yes. In Kali Yuga, everybody is a Dhritarashtra. Every flat has a Dhritarashtra sitting inside. Who doesn't want to see the reality? Who is so egoistic, he thinks that he knows everything. Who is not trying to listen any advice from anyone. When someone comes and tells, please learn this. No, I know already. That is the mentality of Dhritarashtra. So Krishna knows that in Kali Yuga in 2023-22, there will be a lot of Dhritarashtra's in Gachibowli, Tellapur, Kundapur. He already knows. So that is the reason he starts Bhagavad Gita with Dhritarashtra. And Bhagavad Gita is meant for people like Dhritarashtra. And in Kali Yuga, there are only Dhritarashtras. Because Dhritarashtra is sitting here in front of you. Right? So you should understand that it is meant to change our attitude, change our consciousness. We might be Dhritarashtras, but we're going to change after we hear Bhagavad Gita. And that is the reason Dhritarashtra is the first thing that you hear. So here, Dhritarashtra is very eager whether war will happen or not. And Sanjay is making sure to tell that yes, war is going to happen. Another thing astonishing is, on the Pandavas side, the Senapati, the main chief of army, is Drishtadyumna. Who is on the Kauravas side? No. You have not watched B.R. Chopra properly. Who was the commander-in-chief of Kauravas? Bhishma, not Dronacharya. It was Bhishma. Yeah. Now, say, if you are in trouble, you will go to your commander-in-chief, right? If you think that you want to discuss something, you'll go to your commander-in-chief. Look at the politics of Duryodhana. Duryodhana is not an ordinary Duryodhana. What you saw in the serial, very intelligent fellow. In fact, if it would have been now in our country, he would have become prime minister, chief minister, something, He knows right politics, how to handle people. He goes to Drona instead of Bhishma. Why? See, he should ideally go to Bhishma, saying, okay, hey, army is arranged like that. What do you think we should do? But he's not going to Bhishma. He's the commander-in-chief Bhishma, but he's going to Drona. Why do you think he's going to Drona? Yes, he is Guru. He is telling that I have Guru Bhakti. What is the greatest Guru Bhakti? Listen to what Guru says, but don't follow anything. Right? That is in Kali Yuga, no Gurus are there now. Only fake Gurus are there. They keep roaming around, telling things. Nobody follows them. People in Kali Yuga, everybody is their own Guru. But anyway, so why do you think he went to Drona instead of Bhishma? What comes to your mind? See, you all know Varnashrama system, right? Chatur Varnam Maya Shrishtam Guna Karma Vibhagashaha. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Varna, Ashram. Varna means qualities. Ashram means respective departments in which we are segregated. So, what are the four Varnas? Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Right? Four Varnas are there. And what are the four ashramas? Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. Right? These are the four ashramas. Some of it might be a new concept. But it's a very, very advanced concept which Krishna himself creates. It says, Chatur Varnam Maya Shreshtam. I created this. It's not caste system. Caste system we created. He created Varna system. Krishna created Varna system. And Varna system is very essential. Without Varna system, we can't live. And when the Varna system is not followed properly, there will be chaos in the society. Right? I'll spend 5 minutes on Varnashram. Actually, you can spend 4 to 3 hours on it. But just 5 minutes I'll spend, just to make you understand. You see, Brahmanas are the head of this body. The Brahmanas are most knowledgeable, most tolerant, most humble, most respectful, and most serving attitude people, good listeners. These are some of the qualities of the Brahmanas. And they guide the whole society where they should go. What is right for us, what is wrong for us. They are the people because they read the Vedas and they also teach the Vedas. Brahma Jnana iti Brahmana. The one with Brahma Jnana is Brahmana. The one who distributes Brahma Jnana, which is spiritual knowledge. Kshatriyas are administrators and managers. Like last week I was saying, Pandavas were Kshatriyas. They had to administer. You can't keep a manager quiet. He'll keep doing some management work. It is in his nature, right? Kshatriyas. So they are administrators, kings, managers. These are the qualities. Very chivalrous, strong shoulders. Chivalry skills. They know how to do wars. Yeah. So that is the nature of Kshatriyas. Vaishyas, so Kshatriyas are like the shoulders and arms of the body. So head is the Brahmana, arms and shoulders are the Kshatriyas. Vaishyas are the people who balance the society in such a way they supply all the needed resources at the right place. They make sure that agriculture is going on properly so that there is enough grain to feed the people. They make sure that cows are protected so that there is good milk, ghee, and needed ingredients for the whole society to function, right? And then there is so what are Vaishyas in our body? They are the nervous system, the complete nervous system, muscular system, everything. When the resources are going everywhere, that is Vaishyas. And Shudras are the people who are most pure, very pure by nature, and they follow the orders of their master. They don't do any deviation here and there. You tell this to them, they'll do it. Exactly like that, they'll do it without any deviation, right? And they never change their employers. Shudra remains with the employer for the rest of his life, wherever he goes. He's very, very much in service attitude, right? So there are many, actually, Manu Samhita gives like 10 qualities of each one of these varna. I'm just giving a glimpse of it. So what are Shudras in our body? Our legs and our hands, right? So they do everything that the body asks us to do. Whatever the brain says, the shoulders protect, the nervous system functions, and the hands and legs work. You understand it? So tell me, what is the most important part of the body? All the four. What is the use of having a brain with no heads and no arms, no legs, no nervous system, right? So actually, in the as per the Varnashrama system decided by Krishna, by God, there is nothing like superiority and inferiority. They're all equal. At the same time, there is an aspect of being respectful. Importance is of all four of them, but in the line of respect, Brahmanas are respected more because Brahmanas are the head of the society. When you don't have a proper head in the society, what will happen? The society will become completely polluted, isn't it? Yad yad acharati shrestha tat tat tevataro jana sayat pranamam kurute lokastad anvartate. This shloka number 21 from third chapter. 321. It's easy to remember. Right? What is Krishna telling you? Yad yad acharati shrestha. Whatever great people do, common people follow. Whatever great people. There is always great need for great people in the society. And they do something wrong, all the common people also do the same wrong thing. If the chief minister of the state is a drunkard, what do you get in the state? All wine shops only, right? There is a growth in wine shops in Telangana. No wonder the chief minister is a drunkard. You don't need to guess or you don't need to do any research. I'm not against him or anything. I'm just telling you. This is the way society functions. Just imagine if the prime minister is a religious person and is following some religion in a particular way. Are people inspired to follow or no? Automatically they say, yeah, my leader is like that. Why don't I follow my leader? So having the right leaders is very, very important. Having the right brahmanas is very, very important. Just imagine a body without a head. How does the body walk around? Like meaninglessly it will walk around. Unnecessarily it will create disturbance, right? So today in Kali Yuga, the biggest problem is there are no brahmanas. There are no brahmanas. Brahmanas with no ulterior motive. They are here only to give, not to take. right? So that kind of Brahma is very, very important. Now here what? No, this is Varnashrama for you. You know, we can go into big discussion. And Varnashrama can be implemented in every office also. For example, actually, the children were sent to a Gurukul. Children were sent to Gurukul. All the children were sent to Gurukul. Shudra children, Kshatriya children, Vaishya children, Brahmana children, everybody was sent to Gurukul. And the Guru would observe the children at this age, something like this age. There is an age at which you are supposed to start the education. There is Taittiriya Upanishad, which says this is the age at which you start the education. Before that, if you start, it creates mental disturbance for the children. Whole life they'll be in depression only. Right? I think I told that as part of SSR. Can you come here once? Can you come? Idhar Jaldi. Not clearly Bhagavad Gita knowledge, but आपका नाम बोलो? प्रणिल प्रभु की जय. हाँ. See प्रणिल, अभी आप अपने हाथ को ऐसे लगाओ. ये कान को छुओ. Is he able to touch this ear? Can you all see? Done? Yes. इधर आओ, आप इधर आओ. Youngest students in the class. आप इधर आओ, इधर आओ बेटा. इधर आओ, आपका नाम बताओ. हाँ? अभियुक्त. हरे कृष्णा, बहुत ही सुंदर नाम. आप ऐसे हाथ लगाओ. नहीं, पेंसिल मुझे. हाँ, ये हाथ लगाओ. So is he able to touch? No. Until the hand touches the ear on the other end, if you start ABC for them, they'll be scared for the whole life. What is A? What is B? जाओ बैठो. अभियुक्त प्रभु की जय. There's a science behind it. Until the first teeth falls, you should not start technical education. अभी क्या कर रहे हैं? घुसेड़ो बच्चों को बताओ. एक एप्पल. डराओ. Right? That is the problem. Children need to play. They need to play in the sand. They need to play. They need to touch. They need to feel. This is all actually in Taittiriya Upanishad. And this Upanishad was taken by the Germans and they started something called Waldorf system. And Waldorf system has come back to India and we Indians are like, hey, German education is so nice. Mera bacha jata hai. It is there in our system. Right? We have known how to teach children. That's the situation today. Anyway, so why did I get there? Brahmanas. Duryodhana, even though he was a bad person, bad choices, but he made sure that in front of Bhishma, he did not go to Bhishma, he went to Drona, because Drona is a Brahman. Drona is a Brahman. Right? So he wants to make sure politically is correct. He's also impressing both of them. Bhishma is also happy. Kuch to akala is tumhe. Right? He's not directly coming to me. He's going to Drona instead of coming to Bhishma. And he goes to Drona and he says, look at this huge, he's speaking to Drona. All the politics he'll start now. Right? Now, obviously he's scared. There's no doubt about it. But Drona was a Brahman. But there is one problem with Drona. He was not a pure Brahman. Right? When Drona was killed, do you know who killed Drona? Drishtadyumna. Obviously, he took birth to kill Drona. Right? So when he killed Drona, Arjuna was very unhappy. The way he was killed. He was literally, the whole episode that Yudhishthira told a lie, or kind of a half lie, that Ashwadhama is killed. But Ashwadhama, there was another elephant called Ashwadhama, and he told that actually Ashwadhama is killed. Right? Then Drona came to Yudhishthira and asked, is Ashwadhama really killed? Because I don't believe anybody. I don't believe Krishna also here. So you tell me, Yudhishthira, you're not going to tell a lie, because Krishna is the one who asked him to tell that lie. Then Yudhishthira told, yes, Ashwadhama is killed. But still he was true in a way that Ashwadhama, elephant is killed, which he told in a very slow sound. But he told Ashwadhama is killed. As soon as Dronacharya heard this, immediately he felt my goal of life is over. My goal of life was to take care of my son, which is why he is not a great Brahman. Brahman's goal of life is to distribute Brahmagyan. But he was so attached to his son, Ashwadhama, that because his son is on the side of the Kauravas, he also started doing war on the side of the Kauravas, which is like absolutely unprecedented for such a great person. Bharadwaj, King Bharadwaj's son. Bharadwaj Muni, when he looked at a great Apsara, he left a drop of semen in a wooden pot, which is called Drona. Wooden pot is called Drona. And that's why his name came as Dronacharya. Right? Such a great person also could not control his senses, and he fell for his son. So as soon as he got to know that Ashwatthama is killed, immediately, he went down and he started doing tapasya. And why he was doing tapasya? He sat down and he started doing tapasya in the battlefield because he had the power of pulling out his subtle body from inside, staying at the same place. There is something called astral body travel. A lot of Buddhists do that, and it's a big science in itself where you can sit down here, go to Koti and come back. You can go to Abbots and come back. You can see what's going on there. You can do all that. So he had that siddhi, he did that. And he sat down and he started doing tapasya. His subtle body came out and he started searching the battlefield. Is Ashwatthama really killed or no? He was still not convinced. He was just trying to make, because Ashwatthama cannot be killed. The predicament is he has money. He cannot be killed by anybody. But how come he got killed? So he started searching around. And while he was searching around, Lord Krishna looked at Bhima and said, Drishtadumna said, now is the time. You cannot kill this fellow at any other time. Now is the time. Immediately Drishtadumna removed the sword. Before his subtle body comes back to him and says that his son is alive, Drishtadumna went and removed his head. Pak. He removed his head. Now there is no question of his subtle body coming back, right? Head is gone. This is how he was killed. And at that time, Arjuna was very angry. How can you kill my guru like that? And that too in a way that he was killed. That he is killed when he was not even armed. He was just sitting there. It's not a fair way. Arjuna was very affected. But Bhima was laughing. Bhima, hey Arjun, he was not a worthy Brahmana. What are you speaking about? He's told like that. Right? Why he told he's not a worthy Brahmana? Because Brahmana's qualities were bereft in him. Right? By the way, it got deviated in between. I was saying that Varnashrama can also be applied to our daily life now. Right? Because everyone has a quality. For example, who should be the administrator or the CEO of a company? Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra or Brahmana? Kshatriya. It should be a Kshatriya. What quality should the salespeople have? Winning quality, Kshatriya. They should be Kshatriyas. What qualities HR should have? Good listeners, not talkers. But it's exactly opposite now. Isn't it? Good listeners, meaning Brahmanas. Brahmanas should be in HR. If you are having Brahmanas in HR, then they will understand the problems of everybody. But probably you put a Kshatriya in the in a HR place. That fellow will create more problems. Forget about solving problems. Isn't it? So when you know your Varna, the Guru will see the Varna in all the children. I got deviated there when I was speaking. I called the children, I completely forgot. So the point is, Guru knows at what time education has to be given and what kind of education has to be given to whom, looking at the Varna, not looking at Janma. Right? They look at the Varna. And he'll tell, the Guru will tell, this boy can be sent to become a soldier. This boy should be sent to another Gurukul to get more knowledge because Brahmanical qualities. This boy should go to Vaishya qualities. He's got Vaishya qualities. This boy should be a Shudra. He's a Shudra quality, so he should be a follower. Right? Like that. So Guru determines that is how scientific our education system was. Unlike now, where everybody is thrown into the same class and everybody has to become an IIT. Everybody has to become a same nonsense. And ultimately, who is happy? Nobody is happy in society because you're doing a job that you don't like to do. Your quality is not suiting it. Isn't it? Just imagine you are a Brahmana and you are a CEO of a company. Can you run it? You can't solve things. You're more like a healer. And so that is a problem today. But in those days, those problems were resolved at the Gurukul itself. The person would know what he likes to do. It's never about money. It's never about money because when you're doing the right thing, what you're meant to do, you'll anyway make money. You don't need to do any extraordinary endeavor for that. Tendulkar could not have become anything else except a cricketer. And he is happy becoming a cricketer. Because his nature is, to have that kind of, Kshatriya mentality to go and hit and make all that. If you put him in a software job, I don't know how many monitors he would have broken. Right? There's no point. But this is how the Varnashram system was. So here, Drona, even though being a Brahman, he changed his Varna. And forcefully changed his Varna. That he was neither a proper Kshatriya nor a proper Brahman. Right. Dvija means second birth. Dvija Bandhu or Dvija. Normally when you get initiated from a guru, that's your second birth. First birth is given by a mother, which every animal and every plant and every bird also gets. But the real birth for a human being is when he gets initiated by a guru. And the guru tells what is your next thing to do. It's called Dvijas. Brahmanas are Dvijas. Kshatriya is also Dvijas. They take the second birth. In India, everybody would take the second birth, meaning the people who would go to the next level under the guidance of a guru. Yeah. Now we have Dvija Bandhus. It's an insulting way to say you are a Dvija Bandhu, meaning you are a relative of a Dvija. Like that they say now. But anyway, so any questions on this verse, anybody? Why is he telling? So I'll just read it again. Sanjaya said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher and spoke the following words. Yeah. Let's go to the third verse. 1.3. Pasyaitam Pandu Putranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Yuddham Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata. Translation, please repeat. O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. Okay. Let's read the purport. Please focus. Duryodhana, a great diplomat, wanted to point out the defects of Dronacharya. The great Brahmana commander-in-chief, Dronacharya, had some political quarrel with King Drupada, the father of Draupadi, who was Arjuna's wife. As a result of this quarrel, Drupada performed a great sacrifice by which he received the benediction of having a son who would be able to kill Dronacharya. Dronacharya knew this perfectly well, and yet as a liberal Brahmana, he did not hesitate to impart all his military secrets when the son of Drupada, Drishtadumna, was entrusted to him for military education. Now, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Drishtadumna took the side of the Pandavas, and it was he who arranged for their military phalanx after having learned the art from Dronacharya. Duryodhana pointed out this mistake of Dronacharya so that he might be alert and uncompromising in the fighting. By this, he wanted to point out also that he should not be similarly lenient in battle against the Pandavas, who were also Dronacharya's favorite affectionate students. Arjuna especially was his most affectionate and brilliant student. Duryodhana was also warned that such leniency in the fight would lead to defeat. Hare Krishna. So here you can see what is going on. He's speaking to Dronacharya. Now he doesn't stop his politics here. He's a politician. He knows how to take advantage of people. So he wants Dronacharya to become more alert. Now, when you want Dronacharya to become more powerful and alert, he has to irritate Dronacharya a little. He has to, make him feel that, okay, now you are going to fight. So to do that, what did he do? He took the name of Drupada. Drupada is Drona's enemy. Drona doesn't like Drupada. So as soon as he tells Drupada, hey, Dronacharya, by the way, your friend Drupada's son is also here. Immediately he gets it. What are you saying? Why are you taking Drupada's name? He could have told, Drishtadumna is here, right? If you see here the way he's speaking, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. Subtly, like sarcasm to speak. He's saying, your son of Drupada, is here only. By the way, you only gave him the training. So when the training classes started, at that time, for Pandavas, Kauravas, even Drishtadumna was sent at a later point. He was sent to Dronacharya. And look at the greatness of Drona. There are some really good qualities. He knew that he has taken birth to kill him. The whole purpose of his birth itself is to kill Drona. Now just imagine somebody is coming to kill you and he says, I want to kill you, give me weapons and tell me when and tell me how. It's almost like that. It was almost like that he's coming to kill you and he's like, impart me the education. He could have told, no, I'll not give, go somewhere else. No, Drona gave him the full education. But Drona also knew that he has taken birth for something and it is his duty. Whoever comes to him, he should give education. Now my question to you all, there were two other people also who came to Drona, but Drona rejected them. Karna and Ekala. Why? That is a contribution of B.R. Chopra. That's what many people know. Yeah, that's right answer though, but not the perfect answer. We'll understand that more. Yeah. Anybody else? He was not from the high caste. Who are you talking about? Eklavya or Karna? Both of them. Okay. Your name, Rose? Divyansh. Anybody else? Yes, that's also important. Yeah. So let's take one at a time. Right? You need to understand some things. Ekalavya belongs to a community called Nishada community. And they are, they followed mostly Jarasandha. The Magadha Desh, Jarasandha. The whole community used to be part of that particular king. And Jarasandha was a demoniac person. Very, very demoniac person. And Jarasandha would make sure that, he wants to rule the whole planet in a very illegal way. That is by doing sacrifices, getting some benedictions from demigods, killing, he actually captured like hundreds of kings. So he can sacrifice all of them and become a great emperor like that. So nobody was happy. And everybody knew that Jarasandha is doing all these things. And Ekalavya came from the Nishada dynasty. And he was going to, after learning the whole skill, he would go to Jarasandha only. So Dronacharya knew that education should be given in a very responsible way. If you are giving education to a wrong person, the right education, it can lead to a lot of problems. Right? Which is what is happening now in a way. Everybody is giving the same education, even though he has whatever qualities. And somebody is becoming a scientist, somebody is becoming Osama bin Laden, somebody is becoming I don't know what, right? Using the same education. It's very dangerous, actually. Education should be selectively given according to the motives of the person is coming. So Ekalavya belonged to that dynasty and he was going to support the, that particular thing. That was one reason he did not want to give the education. And by the way, Ekalavya never came to ask for the education. He already started taking education. That's another wrong thing that he did. Education comes with responsibility. It's not like you get educated and you go into whatever you like to do. And that is one of the reasons also why I'm telling everybody start chanting, hearing all these things, because I don't want you to take this spiritual education and use it for a wrong purpose outside. Consciousness has to change. Otherwise, I'll only tell Prabhu, stop coming because I don't think you are in the right set of mode. I don't want to give you something which you're going to misuse tomorrow. Spiritual education is very, very dangerous. It can destroy you. I'll tell you how it will destroy you later. When in the second chapter, remind me this question, how spiritual education can destroy you, I'll tell you. But the purpose of spiritual education is to elevate you. So here, he found that he has stolen the knowledge without his permission, which is not acceptable. Because now he's going to use whatever he likes to do with that. And that is the reason he said, give your thumb. Because the thumb is a very, very important organ, limb of your body, which is used especially when you're doing bow and arrow. It gives the grip and it gives the strength to pass an arrow out. And he knew what handed he is, right-handed, left-handed. So he took the right hand's thumb where he pulls the arrow back. And people made him into a big hero, saying that, Ekalavya, the great Ekalavya. In Telugu movies, superstar Krishna also made a movie on Ekalavya. But actually, Ekalavya was a demoniac person. He was not a good-natured person. He had no good qualities. Yeah, one great quality, his guru told he removed the limb also. But that quality also is there in demons. There is this great demon, when he was not being given his benediction in front of Lord Shiva, he said, I'll remove my head also. What is that fellow's name? Ravana, and there is one more also. I think Narkasura or somebody, I forgot. He started removing his head. And then Lord Shiva told, oh, wait, I'll give you what you need. These are all demoniac qualities actually. Playing with your organs, limbs, and going out, chopping out, bloody. These all things are, some demonic people mostly have it. So Ekalavya did that. Do you know who killed Ekalavya? Lord Krishna killed Ekalavya. Before the battlefield of Kurukshetra started, Krishna went and killed Ekalavya. He knew, Krishna knows that this fellow is going to create more trouble for the Pandavas. He's a dharmic person. He's going to create a dharma. So who does Krishna kill? Only when that person is completely adharmic person, right? So this background of Ekalavya, a lot of people don't know. And there are many more things about Ekalavya. What all he did, how he went back and he again became as powerful with, two other fingers. He tried to practice. He was not keeping quiet because his quality was like that. He was a Kshatriya. Though born in a Nishada dynasty, he was a Kshatriya. So that's about Ekalavya. Who was the second person? Karna. Karna's biggest problem was he was very arrogant. Very arrogant. He was never respectful to anyone. And that arrogance, when he came and asked education from Drona understood that this person doesn't have the quality of holding that education with a humble heart. He doesn't have that. He immediately rejected, I'm not going to give you education. And he went to whom? Parashurama. Right? And Parashuram gave him education thinking that he is a Brahman. He said, okay, you are going to teach others. I'm going to make you a teacher. You're not going to go to the battlefield. You will only become a teacher. But actually, he took that education and later on, he found out that he is a Kshatriya. And by the way, who is Karna? What is his past birth? How many of us know? We don't know. If you read Mahabharata, we discussed it. Yeah. If you read Mahabharata, it explains you that in previous life, he was Sahasra Kavaja Rakshasa. He was having 1,000 Kavajas and Kundalas, which he got by worshipping Lord Shiva. He got this particular benediction. And the benediction was, nobody can kill him when he has this Kavaj and Kundal. When he has this particular, Kavaj, I don't know what you say in English, like armory, kit, armory kit. He was having all that and nobody can kill him. If somebody has to kill him, that person has to do certain number of yajnas. And to do that yajna, it is not possible for a normal human being to do that yajna in one life. So if he cannot do that yajna in one life, how can he go and kill him? So it was a big paradox, how can anybody kill him? So he was going and creating so much disturbance in the society, in the whole universe, having that Kavaj and Kundal. And how many? 1,000 of them. So even if somebody goes and removes one, he has another 999. Right? So much he had. At that particular time, all the devatas, they went to the Shweta Dvipa. They requested Lord Narayan, please help us. Somehow this person has got this particular power, is creating a lot of disturbance. Please help us. Then what Lord Narayan said, okay, I'm going to come now in a very different way as Narayan. So Narayan Rishi in Badrika Ashram. That is where they sat down. Lord Narayan and Nara is Arjuna. Said, Arjuna, I will do tapasya, you go to the war. And you do tapasya, I will go and do the war. So this was a tactic in which they made sure that every time one person is doing tapasya, other person finished the tapasya and is going and doing the war. The tapasya is continuing. Tapasya is not stopped. Even if it cannot be done in one lifetime, they managed in that rotation in such a way that Sahasrakaja Rashtra was being attacked, and every time he was seeing Narayan, then Narayan. And he was losing 1 Kavaja. It finally came to 100, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2. He stopped. Only one is left. Now he understood he's going to be killed now. As soon as he got to know that only one is left, he immediately started running away from there. Right? And he started running and taking shelter of somebody. Then he looked at Sun God, Vivaswan. He was there. He went to Sun God and he told, I need shelter now. Right? Please give me shelter. I've come to you. One of the qualities of great persons is when somebody comes to take shelter, they immediately tell that I'm giving you ashraya, don't worry. Immediately gave shelter. So as soon as Sun God gave shelter, then Sun God asked the question, from whom are you asking shelter from? That question he should have asked before. He asked, from whom are you asking shelter from? He said, from Narayan. He said, what? They are my worshipable deities. How can you ask shelter from me? But anyway, now that you told me from whom you are taking shelter, I cannot give you shelter for more than one life. I'm going to give you a body, next body. In the next body, you'll have Kavaj and Kundal. But you'll always be an enemy of Narayan. You'll always chase them, and they are not going to leave you also. So you deal with them how you want to deal with them. But I am going to only give you one birth. And that is what, the Suryadev did. As soon as he saw Kunti, he gave birth to Karna. And Karna came with that Kavaj and Kundal. A lot of people think, oh, such a nice birth. His Kavaj and Kundal are coming as a Rakshash in previous life. And they had to be removed. And that's what Indra did. Before the war, he made sure that he went and took the Kavaj and Kundal as a dan. Now he also, because he took birth from Kunti's womb, who is a pure devotee, he also got some good qualities. Mother brings those qualities into the child. So he was a great Danavira Surakarna, right? But in true nature, he was a demon. He was not going to compromise for anything. He was by natural envious of Krishna and Arjuna. Natural, like a mongoose and a snake are always envious. You don't have to train. You don't have to tell a mongoose that go and attend some classes to become envious against a snake. Even if you bring up a mongoose in one room, snake in one room from their birth, they have not seen anything. Just put both of them together, they'll start fighting. So by birth they are envious. In the same way, by birth itself, this person Karna was envious of Arjuna. Envy means what? What do you mean by envy? So there is anger, there is hate, there is envy. There are three levels, right? Anger means you're angry on somebody, which can happen many times. Your anger, it comes and goes, right? Hate means you want to destroy that person. Next level of anger. I really hate this fellow. Hate is a very, very strong word. You should be very watchful while you're using such word. Okay. Prashadam, come. Anybody?
I have some.
Sure. Hate means you want to destroy that person. Envy means you start planning for it. Right? You start putting it into action. That you have to destroy that person. You're so envious of somebody. So was the problem of Karna. He started planning for destroying Pandavas. And no wonder, who saw that quality in him? Duryodhana. And as soon as he saw that, mera bacha mil gaya, my strong warrior I found out. Immediately he came and told him that I am making you a king. Now you are a king. You are not anymore a Sutputra. Sutaputra means the son of a charioteer. Now you are going to be a Kshatriya now. You support me. And he also found his reason to become more and more strong against the Pandavas. So he got a kingdom and all that. So that is the reason here. Where were we? Yeah. So great army of the Pandus. So the expertly arranged by the intelligent disciple of Drupada. So he gave training. He did not give training to Ekalavya. He did not give training to Karna. Now you know why. Because Drona knew what is the past birth of Karna. He is a Brahmagyani. He is not a normal person. So he knew that this person is going to create more trouble for Pandavas. And I am serving the kingdom of Pandavas. Pandavas, Hastinapur is the one who hired is a very wrong word, who requested Dronacharya to be the teacher of their princes, all the princes. He has to be loyal to that kingdom. And this fellow is naturally envious to kill part of the princes in this kingdom. So he said, no, I'm not going to give training to you. Right? So these all details are there. If you go, dwell into Mahabharata, you'll understand who is who. But unfortunately, without all this knowledge, people make serials and they dedicated 2-3 serials, just for crying for Karna. When he was dying, every all sentimental scene, Kunti is crying, Pandavas are crying. Okay, they might be respectful, but a lot of the details are not shown. Let's go to any questions on third verse? Anybody? Yeah? Okay. Yes, Mataji.
Also, try to destroy Pandava. Still, Lilananda
Yeah. 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 Good question. So Mataji, you should understand that Duryodhana's actual name is Suyodhana also. Yeah. So he was also called, actually Yudhishthira used to still call him Suyodhana always. He never used to call him Duryodhana. So he wants to invoke the good things in him. So there were some good qualities also. His mother being Gandhari, a very chaste lady. She gave very good qualities to her children also. The problem was Shakuni. The problem was her brother was so envious that he took a vow to destroy. And he was trying to infest all those bad qualities in Duryodhana. And Duryodhana from childhood, he was not like, envious or anything. He had bad qualities written. Mahabharata explains when Duryodhana took birth, at the time of birth of Duryodhana, there were so many bad omens that were seen. And at one point, even Vidura went and told Dhritarashtra that you kill your elder son. He's going to create a lot of problems. But he was not able to kill his elder son, obviously. He was very, very attached to him. But there was a way of reviving him also. And that is the reason, actually, they were happy that Dronacharya came and he was going to give education to them. So some change will come. But the major problem is he never left the association of Shakuni. And Shakuni's main target was what? To destroy Bhishma. He was very angry with Bhishma. That Bhishma came to his kingdom Gandhar, which is now Kandahar or Afghanistan, right? So that is where the province of Gandhar was. And he came there and he did not ask for alliance. He said, alliance is your daughter is going to marry my elder prince. And he was a blind person. So he was very angry. And Gandhari was known for her beautiful eyes. Her netra was so beautiful. And she took a vow to keep herself blind for her husband, which is a great vow. Not anybody can do that. So he was very angry. He said, I am going to take revenge on Bhishma, but I cannot take revenge on Bhishma by doing a war against him. Because Bhishma is too powerful to do war. So he took a vow that I am going to destroy his entire dynasty. Actually, Shakuni was not a well-wisher of Pandavas also, Kauravas also. He made sure that Kauravas were destroyed. He made sure that Pandavas were destroyed because he was so envious. Put it into action. He did that. So Drona did try to revive, the children of Gandhari. And some of them were not as bad, like Vikarna. Vikarna was one of the child of Dhritarashtra and Gandhari's child, who objected when Draupadi was being disrobed and the whole Dyudha Sabha, the cheating was happening. He objected, saying, what are we doing here? Why are we allowing this to happen? And immediately Duryodhana said, I am your elder brother, shut up, sit down. You cannot go against me. But he always knew that Vikarna is somebody who was not happy. So not all Kauravas were like that. They were forced in different ways to become bad. Yeah. So there was some hope still. But anyway, Shakuni made it hopeless. Yeah. Is that okay, Madam? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. And there was one more son of Dhritarashtra, not from Gandhari, from another wife. He had many other wives. A lot of people didn't know one wife. He is a king, he had many other wives, many alliances. So there was one more son called Yuyutsu. He was not son of Gandhari. He was son of another wife of Dhritarashtra. So before the war, when Krishna told, actually Yudhishthira told, if anybody has any objection, if anybody still thinks Dharma is on this side or that side, now is the time to change. At that time, Yujutsu actually went from Kaurava army to Pandava army. On the battlefield, he changed and he became very angry. Duryodhana became very angry. Then he says, Sautela to Sautela hi hai hamisha. Though he is my brother, but he is not my brother. He deceived me, like that he says. Yeah. So he also took education from Drona. Yeah. Verse number 4. Atra sura maheshva asha Bhimarjuna samayudhi Yudhano viratascha Drupadascha maharatha. Yeah. So translation, please repeat after me. Here in this army are many heroic bowmen, equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna. Great fighters like Yudhana, Virata, and Drupada. So now he is pointing, now he is telling who is there in that army. He wants to encourage his army. So he is trying to tell the whole army while speaking to Dronacharya that who is there in that army. So he is addressing few of them. Right? He's saying here in this army are many heroic bowmen, equal in fighting to Bhima. And like Bhima and Arjuna, don't think Bhima and Arjuna are the only ones. There are many others. Why is he saying this? He's also trying to alert. He's also trying to alert Drona that become very alert now. Don't think it's low time army. They have some big people there. So let's read the purport. Even though Drishtadumna was not a very important obstacle in the face of Dronacharya's very great power in the military art, there were many others who were causes of fear. They are mentioned by Duryodhana as great stumbling blocks on the path of victory because each and every one of them was as formidable as Bhima and Arjuna. He knew the strength of Bhima and Arjuna, and thus he compared the others with them. Right now, who is Yuyudhana? Yuyudhana is Satyaki. He is part of the Yadu dynasty. He came and he did the war on behalf of Pandavas. And the day Arjuna wanted to kill Jayadratha, on that one big battle, if you remember, Yudhana or Satyaki was the one who was clearing the road for, Arjuna to go forward. So very, very great warrior. And Virata, right? Where Pandavas took shelter during the Agyatwas, Virat Raj is a king Virata. And Drupada was killed by whom? By Drona on the 15th day of the war. Before, he also got killed on the same day, but he killed before. So he killed Drupada. And so Drupada and Drona had this whole enmity in the past. You all know that story, right? I mean, they shared their kingdom. Yeah. So something else to know here, Maharatha. So when you say Maharatha, there are different levels of warriors. The certification, like ISO certification, there was certification of warriors in those days also. Maharatha, Athiratha, Ardharatha, right? And Yodha, like that. Actually, Athiratha means it is told of somebody who can defeat unlimited people. Unlimited. Athiratha. Is Athiratha. Means he when he comes into the battlefield, there is no number that he can look at. Like Karna was Athiratha. Arjuna was Athiratha. He was not a Maharatha. Maharatha means 10,000 people max. In a day, 10,000 people he can kill. 10,000. That's not a small number. But he can destroy not ordinary people. Huh? These days, people kill innocent people. I'm talking about warriors on the battlefield. 10,000 warriors he can kill. That person is called what? Maharatha. Yeah. And Yodha means he will pakka kill at least one person who is fighting with him. It is that much he can do. Ardharatha means even for that one person he needs help. Right? He is not capable of going ahead. So this battlefield of Kurukshetra had so many Adhirathis. Right? Ardharathis, meaning so many people who could kill unlimited number of people. Like, Drona, Karna, when they come on the battlefield, there is no number attached to them. It is explained in one single day, Karna killed more than 10 crore people. One single day. It was like an ocean of, arrows and different weapons and they were not ordinary weapons that they were shooting. Like we all know, what weapons do we know? Guns and AK-47. How much I don't even know whether it can kill 47 people. But these are the max weapons, we know nuclear bomb. Those days they had even dangerous weapons than that, right? They used to make sure that all these weapons are nicely tested and training also happened. You know where the weaponry training used to happen? Australia. Now it's Australia. It was Australia, became Australia. That was island. The gurus would take them to that island saying, this is a secluded place. Now here you can do whatever testing you want to do. It will not create problem in other places, right? So there is a whole, proper training of everybody happened. And the weapons are not ordinary. You can't imagine, somebody killing 10 crore people in a day. You can't even think about it. And a single person standing at a single place doing that. Just imagine, that kind of warriors they were. So Ardharathi, yeah. Any questions on this verse? So he's trying to give some special recognition to some people on the other side of the army in Pandavas who are there, right? Yeah. Text number 5. Dristaketus Chakitana Kasi Rajascha Viryavan Purujit Kunti Bhojascha Saibhyascha Narapungava. Please repeat after me. There are also great heroic, powerful fighters like Dristaketu, Chakitana, Kashi Raja, Purujit, Kunti Bhoja, and Saibhya. So a lot of these people are not mentioned by B.R. Chopra, so I'm sure you don't know. Drishtaketu is the son of Shishupal. When Shishupal was killed by Lord Krishna in what is that place? In the what is it? Indraprastha. After the Ratsu Yajna. You know that episode, right? How many know the story of Shishupal? Shishupal was born with many hands and legs, and his mother was scared. Why is he born like that? He happens to be Kunti's aunt's son. And then when Kunti came to see them, actually his mother asked the Akashvani that who is going to kill my son? My son whose birth is like this, how is his death going to be? So he told whoever sees him and his extra limbs will go away, he'll be the cause of his death. And Krishna sees and immediately his limbs go away. And as soon as immediately, that his mother falls at the feet of Krishna saying, why do you want to kill my son? I don't want to kill your son. No, you're going to kill my son because Akashvani told that as soon as you saw, his limbs went away. Then Krishna says, okay, if he abuses me more than 100 times, then I'll kill him. But I'll not kill him. I'll forgive him. And it's not like 100 times starting from today. No, at once. At once he should cross 100. So he can go till 99, take a break. Right? So he had that choice. But he went beyond. And a lot of people say that actually he was killed because he crossed 100. That is what all the movies and the counting, different people showed in different way. As if Krishna is counting a kitna ho gayi, 77, 78. No, not like Krishna never counted anything. Actually, Krishna was enjoying Shishupal. When Shishupal was abusing him, saying, tu chor hai, tu ye hai, tu wo hai, Krishna, acha hai. My devotee is calling my name. Right? But Krishna, how can you insult God? You can't insult God. Whatever you tell to God, right? Like a small child, he tells his father, oh, you are bad. Immediately, what will the father do? Mera beta kitna acha bol raha hai. Right? He seems like all cute things in his children. Same way when Krishna was laughing, actually when Shishpal was abusing, Krishna was nicely laughing. And Balram was very angry. Hey, Krishna, what is this? He is abusing you, you are laughing there. Krishna is like, अच्छा बोल रहा है, nothing like, अच्छा बोल रहा है मेरे बारे में, मैं चोर हूँ, मैं ये हूँ. He's like nicely enjoying. At that point, even Shishupal realized that this fellow is actually enjoying when I'm shouting at him. Then he said, okay, I have to somehow irritate Krishna. Then he went to abusing all the people Krishna likes. So he started abusing Bhishma, saying, your pratigya is useless. You never followed your pratigya. So immediately Krishna should now get angry, right? Because he's insulting Bhishma. Still, Krishna was like, I know what you're doing. Keep doing what you want to do. I'm not going to get angry. So he started abusing Yudhishthir. He started abusing all the kings. At one point, he was abusing the entire Kuru dynasty. That even Duryodhan became angry on Shishupal. Saying, what nonsense is this? He's literally, abusing the whole dynasty. He's not sparing anybody because he wants to irritate Krishna. So at one point, Krishna saw that Arjun and Bhima are becoming very angry now. Because Bhishma is being abused, Krishna is being abused, their worshipable Krishna is being abused. Bhima is getting angry now. Bhima can't tolerate this anymore. And at one point, actually, Ratsur Yajna means all the world has to accept that you are the emperor. That is Ratsur Yajna. You know that, right? So all the world has to accept. So until the Ratsur Yajna gets over, not a single drop of blood has to fall on the ground. If a single drop of blood falls on the ground, that means there was a fight. Somebody was in disagreement of you being emperor. So the whole yajna becomes waste. And the yajna was done with so much money, so much resources were spent for years together to make that yajna happen. But Pandavas went in 4 directions and they got so much wealth, so much gold, diamonds, rubies, so many brahmanas, so much ghee, pure ghee. Everything was done for the yajna to be successful. And this fellow Shishupal is coming and irritating. And if now Bhima gets more angry, he'll go and give a punch to Shishupal. That fellow's mouth will break, blood will fall, and the whole Ratsu Yajna will become abolished. Right? That time Krishna saw, okay, I am enjoying here nicely, but these fellows are not enjoying. He saw Bhima there, he was getting really angry. He was like holding the gada now. Abhi jane wala hai. At that time Krishna said, okay, now I have to do the, first neck surgery with no blood. So immediately removed Sudarshan Chakra and he left the Sudarshan Chakra in such a way that it cut his head, but not a single drop of blood fell on the ground. That was the greatness of, Krishna's surgery. So he did that. And that's why he killed, actually, Shishupal. Acharya explained, not because he was counting 100 or anything. Okay, that was also there, but that was not the main reason. So after killing Shishupal, Krishna made sure he told that a king without a king, the kingdom will be lost. So you have to make sure the king is retained. So at that time, Yudhishthir, because he was emperor of the world, declared emperor after the Rajasuya Yajna, he coronated Shishupal's son, whose name is Drishtaketu, as the emperor of Chedidesh. Chedidesh was the kingdom which Shishupal was ruling. So he became favorable to Pandavas because he was given the kingdom. He came and he started fighting. Father was a great enemy of Pandavas and Krishna, but the son became a very good devotee of Krishna. So he came. Now, Chetikena is another great personality. He is also from the Yadava dynasty. Yadava means, the Dwarka side he came. He was killed by Dronacharya, 17th day. Duryodhana. Duryodhana killed him on 17th day. And Kashi Raja, he was king of Kashi, and Kashi is such a great place, that his name is called as Kashi Raj. The real name is not called out. Purujit and Kunti Bhuja are the brothers of Kunti. They were also great warriors, right? So they also came, Mama. They are more mamas of Pandavas, right? And Saibya is the father-in-law of Yudhishthir. Father-in-law of Yudhishthir? Yudhishthir ke bahut sare pati the. Don't think Draupadi was the only wife of Yudhishthir. Yudhishthir had many other wives. So he is one of the kings of one of his wives, Saibya. Like that. So all these were also great warriors who are representing the Pandavas. Yeah. If you wish, you can write these notes down. I don't know how they are useful, but you will know more about the warriors there. Yeah. What is the time? 9:30? Yeah, 15 more minutes. Okay. Text number 6. Yudhamanyuscha Vikranta Uttam Maujascha Viryavan Subhadro Draupadeyascha Sarva Eva Maharatha. Maharatha means 10,000. 10,000 Kshatriyas, not 10,000 people. Somebody is killing 10,000 people is not a Maharatha. He has to kill Kshatriyas, like really warriors he has to kill. Okay. Translation, please repeat after me. There are the mighty Yudhamanyu, the very powerful Uttamauja, the son of Subhadra, and the sons of Draupadi. All these warriors are great chariot fighters. So he's also telling who else is there on the other side. So Yudhamanyu. The Yudhamanyu, there is a prince of the Panchala kingdom. Panchala kingdom is run by Drupada. So he was, I don't know, he was Drishtatunya's son or he was son of another prince, but he's a prince of Panchala kingdom. And son of Subhadra is how? Abhimanyu, yes. And the sons of Draupadi, how many sons she had? She had one son from each brother. So she had 5 sons. Yeah. And when was Abhimanyu killed, on which day? 14th day. That's where the whole course of the war changed. Right? Yeah. Any questions here? It's just an introduction, actually. Many of these verses are introducing the warriors on the ground. Let's go to the 7th one. Asmakam tu Vishishtaye Tan Nibodha Dvijottama Nayakamama Sainyasya Samgyartham Tan Braviti Me. Translation, repeat after me. But for your information, O best of the Brahmanas, let me tell you about the captains who are especially qualified to lead my military force. Oh, this fellow is such a, political fellow. He's saying Dvijottama. It's like insulting even more. Dvija Uttama. Dvija means the one who has taken second birth. He is addressing Dronacharya as Dvija. That is good. But he's saying Dvijottama, meaning you are the greatest among the second birth. See, even Drona knows that he could not do much as a right Brahman. No, it's like going and telling, an audience, all gentlemen here. Not everybody is gentleman. but still you say all gentlemen and like that. In the same way, he is also sarcastically, he's telling, hey, Dvijottama, and now I'm going to tell you who is there on our side also. So he's insulting more and more. Why is he insulting? Because he knows that he wants to make him angry. He wants to make him angry so that he becomes very, very strong against Pandavas. And, he fights with all that anger. See, you can't go in Sattva-guna, you can't be a Brahmana and going for fighting. It's not possible. See, just imagine two Brahmanas coming for fighting. How can they fight? Dandavat pranam, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Okay. They cannot fight. For fighting, you need that anger. And most of the time, the warriors, they would incite anger in each other before they start fighting. That is the reason they speak to each other. They'll both the warriors, you never fought with me, get lost. And I'll fight with you today. I know you cannot fight with me. You are this, you are that. Your father is like that, your kingdom is like that. Like that. Your father is also like that, your kingdom is like that. So they'll speak to each other for like 10-15 minutes. And when the anger is aroused, then they'll remove the Dhanush and they'll start fighting. Right? So anger is a very, very important emotion that is needed for fighting. You can't be peaceful and fight. Right? So anger is not a bad thing. A lot of people go for classes, anger management. Right? Anger is not a bad thing, provided anger is not controlling you. Right? You should control the anger. So another thing. So anyway, so they used to have control over anger. The greatness of all these people in the past, they were so spiritually educated that they could use anger whenever they want. And whenever they don't need anger, they would make the anger down. You know what I'm saying? Normally, when we are angry, we forget everything. Right? We start shouting. Cats and dogs start fighting. But in those days, they can use anger and they can stop anger also. That was amount of skill they had. So here he's telling basically that don't worry, we also have great warriors. Says Dvijottama. Now we're going to discuss about our warriors. Right? So any questions? 7th verse? Okay, 8th verse. Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha Kripascha Samitim Jaya Ashwattama Vikarnascha Saumya Ditis Tathaivacha. Yeah. So translation. There are personalities like you, Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashwattama, Vikarna, and the son of Somadatta, called Bhurishrava, who are always victorious in battle. So, purport, please focus. Duryodhana mentions the exceptional heroes in the battle, all of whom are ever victorious. Vikarna is the brother of Duryodhana, Ashwadama son of Dronacharya, and Saumadatti or Bhurishrava is the son of the king of Bahilikas, and Karna is the half brother of Arjuna, and he was born of Kunti before her marriage and King Pandu. Kripacharya's twin sister married Dronacharya. Yeah. So he's mentioning what great warriors I have on my side. Right? Now he's doing that because he wants to encourage. He wants to encourage after hearing, see, his entire army is till now he's hearing who is there on the other side. Now he wants to say, hey, by the way, we also have great warriors now. So he starts with you and then says Bhishma, again politically right. He's trying to make sure you are a great warrior, Drona, and Bhishma, and somebody. Right? So he's trying to address. So Bhishma also is happy. Yeah. And he especially takes the name of Vikarna. See, he could have told Dushasana also. Among his brothers, when he had to call his favorite brother, he did not take the name of Dushasana. Because Dushasana anyway is a loyal fellow. He's anyway going to do the war. But he has a doubt on Vikarna. This fellow Vikarna objected me in the Kuru Sabha. Right? When I was trying to disrobe Draupadi, Vikarna was not happy. So especially takes the name of Vikarna to encourage him. Sometimes managers do that, In the office also, they take somebody's name in front of everybody. Now this fellow is giving importance to me. So Duryodhana also is doing the same thing. It's like, Vikarna is there. Vikarna, what did I do? Oh, no. Okay. You are thinking that I'm an important person. Yeah. Then Kripa and Kripi. Kripacharya and Kripi. Kripa, they both are also very mystically born to a great sage. And Kripi is the wife of Drona. Yeah. And Vikarna, yes. Now, Karna he's taking the name of Karna. Actually, Karna was not even there on the battlefield. So he's telling the whole army, by the way, we also have Karna. Because he wants to make sure that he tells that Karna is still there. It's not like he's not on the battlefield, but he's still there for me. And why he was not on the battlefield? Because Bhishma never liked Karna. But Karna was a very arrogant fellow. We all got the background of Karna also last life. But apart from that, he was a very arrogant fellow. He would always find reasons to bring say things which will irritate Bhishma and to bring Pandavas down. He'll tell some things like, I can defeat Arjuna anyways, like that he'll tell. Then Bhishma will like, when did you defeat Arjuna to tell like that? No, I can defeat him. I am Parshuram Shishya. I can do that. Like that is to boast. If you don't, nobody likes people who boast, like boast about themselves. So even he felt, I don't want this fellow on the battlefield when I am there. And it is also explained, Karna also never wanted to fight when Bhishma is there, because Karna was so arrogant. He felt, see, if I fight now, I will actually defeat the enemy, and the credit will go to Bhishma. So better I don't do the war like that. Both the sides, they did not want to do war with each other. I mean, they did not want each other at the same time on the battlefield. But he made sure that he's taking the name of Karna. So just to tell the army that Karna is there, and is still my favorite. And Karna also is happy that Duryodhan doesn't feel that I'm not there. Right? So is Duryodhan. X9. Anyecha Bhavasura Madarte Tyaktva. No, 1 second. Madarte Tyakta Jivita Nana Shastra Praharana Sarve Yuddha Visaradha. So here, repeat the translation. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons, and all are experienced in military science. Right? Now here the funny thing is that in advance itself is telling that many people are going to lay down their lives for me. If you go to 11th chapter 33, just go to 11th chapter 33, can you do that? On the top, you'll see 8.6, 9.6 like that. Go to 11.33, 11.33. Yeah. So here Krishna is telling Arjuna, I'm just reading the translation there. You got 11.33? Yeah. Therefore, get up, prepare to fight and win glory. Conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement. Krishna is telling, they're already put to death by my arrangement. And you, Sabyasachi, can be but an instrument in the fight. So actually, Krishna is telling, I already killed them. He already did. Just is going to happen next. You are just an instrument to, make it happen. The future, Krishna already knows the future. That they're all going to be killed. So here, Duryodhana is kind of remembering the future indirectly. So he's saying these all people are going to die on my behalf. So the word of Krishna is coming out of Duryodhana's mouth. Right? He's saying, there are so many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for me. So obviously they all will lay down their lives for him. And there is one more reason he's saying this statement. He's telling indirectly to Yuyutsu. Because so angry with Yuyutsu that Yuyutsu went on the other side. He wants to tell him, by the way, you went, but there are so many who are there still who can give their life for me. Like that. You understood, right? He's irritated and he's trying to see the personality of Duryodhana. Very angry, very intelligent, heavily political. He wants to make sure everybody is addressed in those little sentences that he's saying. And equipped with different kinds of weapons. So there is Nana Shastra. Shastra and Astra. Is there a difference between Shastra and Astra? Shastra means that we use holding it. Astra means that which you throw. Like for example, knife is a Shastra. Right? And like something that you throw like arrow is a Astra. Like that. So here saying different kinds of Shastras. These people are equipped with different kinds of Shastra knowledge. Like that they have. Yeah. Okay. Purport. As far as others are concerned, like Jayadratha, Kritavarma, and Shalya, all are determined to lay down their lives for Duryodhana's sake. In other words, it is already concluded that all of them would die in the battle of Kurukshetra for joining the party of the sinful Duryodhana. Duryodhana was, of course, confident of his victory on account of above mentioned combined strength of the friends. Can we do one more shloka? What is the time? Actually, there is a logical end at shloka number 10 and 11. Is it okay if we go another 5 minutes? Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Shloka number 10. Aparyaptam tad asmakam balam bhishma vi rakshitam paryaptam tvi idam etesham balam bhima virakshitam. Translation, please repeat after me. Our strength is immeasurable and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma. Whereas the strength of the Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhima, is limited. Yeah. Aparyaptam, immeasurable. Actually, this word aparyaptam can be used in two ways. With a little change in the way you say it, it also means immeasurable and that which is very less and cannot be measured. Both the ways it can be used. So anyway, so here he is saying that, our strength is immeasurable and we are perfectly protected by Bhishma, whereas the strength of the Pandavas carefully protected by Bhima. Why is he using Bhima's name? Because he is not getting sleep only. From the day Bhima told, I am going to kill all you 100 people. I want to take your brother's blood from his chest and give it to Draupadi. I'm going to break your thighs. From that day, he never got sleep only. All the time he was remembering Bhima, 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 Bhima. Right? Not Jivan Bhima. The Bhima is going to kill him. So that Bhima was always in his consciousness. So he was saying, oh, Bhima is going to protect that side. By the way, Bhishma is going to protect this side. So he was very, very confident about Bhishma. Right? I'll read the purport. Herein, an estimation of the comparative strength is made by Duryodhana. He thinks that the strength of his armed forces is immeasurable, being specifically protected by the most experienced general, grandfather Bhishma. On the other hand, the forces of Pandavas are limited, being protected by a less experienced general Bhima, who is like a fig in the presence of Bhishma. Duryodhana was always envious of Bhima because he knew perfectly well that if he should die at all, he would only be killed by Bhima. Right? He knows if he has to die, Bhima is the one who is going to kill him. But at the same time, he was confident of his victory on account of the presence of Bhishma, who was a far superior general. His conclusion that he would come out of the battle victorious was well ascertained. So he was very, very confident that until Bhishma is there, there is no question of me losing the war. Now, one mistake he has done here, right? One mistake that he is doing here, he is saying that on that side Bhishma is there, this side Bhishma is there, that side Bhima is there. These are the two powerful people. And this is why, we are powerful, they are powerful, everything. But he's forgetting to remember one very important person's name. Krishna. Right? इसीलिए इसको मूर्ख बोलते हैं. Right? Krishna. How can he forget Krishna? And Krishna is on the other side, he can do anything. Right? So he forgets it. That is why he's Duryodhana. Yes. Yeah, I know you're right. That is why he's Duryodhana. So anybody who doesn't remember Krishna is, I'm not telling it. Duryodhana. Right? Okay, shloka number 11. Anyaneshu cha sarveshu yatha bhagam avasthita Bhishmam evabhirakshantu bhavanta sarva evahi. Translation, please repeat after me. All of you must now give full support to grandfather Bhishma. As you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army. Now, I'll read the purport and then explain. Purport, please focus. Duryodhana, after passing the prowess of Bhishma, after praising the prowess of Bhishma, further considered that others might think that they had been considered less important. So, in his usual diplomacy way, he tried to adjust the situation in the above words. He emphasized that Bhishma Deva was undoubtedly the greatest hero, but he was an old man. So, everyone must especially think of his protection from all sides. He might become engaged in the fight, and the enemy might take advantage of his full engagement on one side. Therefore, it was important that other heroes not leave their strategic positions and allow the enemy to break the phalanx. Duryodhana clearly felt, you can underline this next 6 lines, Duryodhana till assembly. There is 6th line ending called assembly. Duryodhana clearly felt that the victory of the Kurus depended on the presence of Bhishma Deva. He was confident of the full support of Bhishma Deva and Dronacharya in the battle because he well knew that they did not even speak a word when Arjuna's wife Draupadi, in her helpless condition, had appealed to them for justice while she was being forced to appear naked in the presence of all great generals in the assembly. Yeah, I'll tell why I asked you to underline. So, although he knew that the two generals had some sort of affection for the Pandavas, he hoped that these generals would now completely give it up as they had done during the gambling performances. So basically here is saying that Bhishma is very important. So he's telling, please protect Bhishma for 2 reasons. Bhishma needs to be there on the battlefield if he wants to win. There is no doubt about it. If Bhishma is gone, the battlefield is gone. He knows that. Very, very important. So he wants him to be protected because he knows Pandavas are going to do some tactic to bring down Bhishma. Another reason he's saying that is because he wants to make sure that others don't feel that they are not being addressed as important. If you see the translation, he's saying, all of you must now give full support to Bhishma. He's saying Bhishma also needs your support because you're also very powerful. So he's like speaking to praise everybody on the battlefield for different reasons, right? Now here, what I asked you to underline is basically, now how does he have confidence on Bhishma? He has confidence on Bhishma because Bhishma at the most vulnerable point still supported the thrush. He did not go back. Because see, what can be more provoking than the Kuluvadhu, your daughter-in-law, the kingdom's, the whole Kuru dynasty's pride is being disrobed in front of everybody. Horrible thing, right? I mean, you can't even imagine. For that, if Bhishma did not get up and react, then definitely he'll do the war on my behalf. So he had that kind of confidence. This is far lesser insult of asking him to do the war on my behalf as compared to the insult that he saw in front of him. Now, some people might ask, why did Bhishma even tolerate this? Right? Bhishma should not tolerate this. So there is a higher reason why. The lowest reason is Bhishma was loyal to his kingdom, and because he ate the salt of Hastinapur, mera namak khaya hai, So he said, no, I have to be loyal to them. That is the lowest reasons. But the real reason I'll tell you. When Krishna appears, Lord Krishna appears to prove a lot of points, when he comes here. One of the points he wanted to prove that no matter how many people stand on the behalf of adharma, dharma will still win. And he wanted a right example to prove that. He wanted to have the greatest example to prove that, not a normal example. So he chose Bhishma to be that example who can be on behalf of the adharma and still get defeated. So Bhishma actually did the service to Krishna, knowing that he will be misunderstood for the rest of the history. But as a service, he did that. Even though Bhishma, such a great warrior who could even defeat Parashurama, who was trained by the greatest of the warriors, he is the best of the personalities. Even the person who knows full dharma is standing on behalf of the adharma, he'll be defeated. So for the rest of eternity. So it's a lesson for all of us that when you see adharma is happening, even the most powerful people might be on that side. You should never be on that side. Because even though it might be the most powerful, one day it will be brought down. Any country in this planet today, the likes of USA or likes of any other country. They might be powerful today. But if they are doing adharma, remember one day they will be brought down. There is no discussion about it. They have done something bad to innocent people, it will come down. Nobody can stop that. And this is the law of this law set by the Supreme Lord himself. And Bhishma is a great example. Just imagine how much Bhishma loves Krishna that he even wanted to be misrepresented and misunderstood in order to serve Krishna. That, okay, Krishna, you made your point. That, by me being on that side, hence proved that even though the greatest person is there, his side on the side of the adharma, he'll be defeated like that. So, so this particular section, as I told in the beginning, the whole chapter is divided into many sections. So this introduction section, some part of it is done, but from 12th verse until the 20th verse, they're called as signs of victory. So we'll deal with them next week. 12th verse to 20th verse, signs of victory. Even before the war started, there were signs of victory of Pandavas. So that you will listen in the 12th to 20th verse. Okay. So, any questions, Prabhuji and Mataji? I don't know what has come for Prashadam today, so I can't answer that. Apart from that, any other questions? Are you all okay with the way it's going? Is it too much Mahabharata? Should I reduce and go into directly? Huh? Too much entertainment? Mahabharata is like a story, no? Does Prashadam come? Come. So if some people are leaving, I'll just take another 5 minutes questions. Please take Prashadam and leave. Yeah, my humble request. Yeah. So any questions? No questions? No questions means nobody heard anything. One technical question.
So,
You
the
can-
war started on
First day of Margasira,
March. And Bhishma was going to lie down on
11th day.
and he was waiting to leave until Uttarayan start.
Yes.
Uttarayan starts somewhere roughly.
After the war.
Yeah, after the war.
Hmm.
So Bhishma died after the war.
Hmm.
He just lied down after the war.
He was waiting there. He was waiting for the right auspicious moment because he wanted to make sure that the kingdom is all protected and kingdom is all properly there until the Uttarana starts. Not only for his own departure. It was not. At the time of his leaving, when the Uttarayana starts, at that time he asks Yudhishthir that please, this supreme person is standing in front of me, Govinda, is so beautiful. I am just looking at him and I want to leave my body with this sight. Can you recite his names? And then Yudhishthir recites the Vishnu Sahasranama. What we sing Vishnu Sahasranama? Vishnu Sahasra, 1,000 names of Vishnu, is recited by Yudhishthir in praise of Krishna while he is there in front of Bhishma on the day of Uttarayana. Yeah. Any other questions? So as I said, no questions means either you understood everything or you not understood anything. Or you had a nice morning extra nap. Okay. So now I humbly request everyone to please remove your chanting bags. If you have your chanting bags. Yeah. How many don't have chanting bags? Please lift your hand. Or can you pass on the chanting bags to everybody? It'll just take 7 minutes. I want, is still Kartika Masam going on. So we all should chant together. It'll just take 7 minutes. Please, everybody, chant loudly, nicely. While the chanting bags are going, can we make quick, Nana? Can you all lift the hands again who all did not receive it or don't have it? Yes. And by the way, there is Bhagavad Gita book. This Bhagavad Gita book. I don't want it to be husband and wife book. It has to be husband separate book, wife separate book. Okay, please invest a large sum of money, which is 150 rupees or 200 rupees, which is needed for you, for having a separate copy for yourself, because you're going to make notes. I want everybody to have your own separate textbook. And there is another book called Basics of Bhagavad Gita. How many started reading Basics of Bhagavad Gita? Chapter 1. Did you all like the way it is presented? It's very nice. So humbly request, please, everybody. There are a lot of people who have not raised your hand. So please, next week, raise your hand, showing that you have started reading it. And please finish the session that I have given you, In Search of Happiness. Please lift your hand so you can know who needs it. Yeah. So please finish that first session. And if you have any questions on that first session also, you can ask in this forum. After I finish the whole class, we'll give like 5-10 minutes on that first session also. Yeah, quickly, Nana, because we have to move. You can take that and go, na? Lift that. Lift that and go. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, one more small announcement while he's giving the chanting bells. Next week, Sunday morning, we have a class. And evening also, there is a very nice event we are planning in the hall. We have already booked the hall. There is a great personality. His name is Bhakti Raghav Swami Maharaj. He is a born American, but he is amazing sannyasi, and he has given his life for teaching Krishna consciousness around the world. He travels around the world. So we have invited, Beta, can you sit down? We have invited him here, our satsang here in Gachibowli, we have invited, we are using the hall. All of you are invited. When there was, I'll just share one instance, that there was an attack on a temple in Bengal, by some, dacoits to remove the deities. So he literally was holding the deity until it was snatched, and in that whole moment, he was even shot by gun, on his legs, and he lost one of his legs. He doesn't have one leg, if you see. So much is his dedication to serve Radha and Krishna. And he has set up many Varnashrama, academies and Gurukuls and ashrams around India. In Karnataka, there is one where there is a big Gurukul. Even in Hyderabad, around Hyderabad, there are many places where he has set up many Varnashrama colleges. And he's actually introducing Varnashrama into the education system. He himself is working along with PM Modi and few others who are working with them, trying to introduce this knowledge into the academics. Don't you think it's nice to have? Right? So he's working. So he's actually very great personality. And by chance, I got his time when he's visiting Hyderabad. So I requested him for our satsang here. So he's going to be very much here. You have to make your time to come. On Sunday evening, it is going to be from 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock. So please come. You'll also hear his discourse. He'll share some nice things. You can also invite your friends. I will start a count in the group separately for that event. Please also give your count for that. So I know, how much prasad. And by the way, it's Ekadashi. Sunday is Ekadashi. What an auspicious day to have a great sannyasi, right? So he's coming here, and you can take his association. There is a beautiful verse in the scriptures. Please repeat after me. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Kaya, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Janma Siddhi Hai. Which means, no matter how much Bhagavad Gita you read, no matter how much Bhagavatam you read, no matter how much Sanskrit you learn, no matter how much technically educated you are, it's useless, or rather worthless, as compared to Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, a fraction of second in front of a pure devotee. Right? Lava means 1/14th of a second. So English people have a way of calculating hour, minute, second. But Vedas has even lesser than second. Even lesser than second is lava, which is 1/14th of a second. Even 1/14th of a second association with a pure devotee can change your life. How can it change? Some people will think, probably 1/14th second mein kya hota hai? Simple. He will look at you and he'll pray to Krishna. He will look at you and he'll pray to Krishna that this useless fellow somehow take him back to your kingdom. This fellow is not going to come anyways. So I'm praying for him. Immediately Krishna will say, okay, my devotee prayed for me, prayed for him, so I will make it happen. Right? That is the reason we take Sadhu Sangha. Not because, I'm great or they are very great. When they look at you, they pray. Actually, greatest quality of sadhu is they pray for us. They pray for us. So we should always go and take their blessings. Right? So please make your time out next Sunday evening also. And it's happening very much here in Krishe, in the hall. We booked the hall. And and Prashadam will be there. Ekadashi, we are keeping, though Ekadashi is a day of fasting, but it's not easy to fast for many people. So we are keeping Ekadashi Prashadam. Ekadashi Prashadam means you will not have grains. You'll have fruit, sabudana, samo, quinoa, something like that, roots. And you'll have milk, anything like the milk. And we don't use normal salt. We use sainda namak, the fasting salt. Actually, it's good to use fasting salt all the time. You don't need to buy that iodized salt anywhere. Just get the fasting salt for all the days. It's good for your health. Yeah. So, yeah, and if somebody wants to sponsor any prasadam for that day or the morning program, even these programs here that we are doing, I'm very grateful to some Provision Matajis who are coming forward. So feel free. There is nothing more auspicious than serving prasadam to devotees when they're attending a class. You all have birthdays, anniversaries, birth or death doesn't matter. But when you celebrate them, you can celebrate by making it part of the satsang, right? Making it part of what we're doing. Okay, so we'll chant one round together. My humble request. Let's chant with rapt attention and prayer in our minds. As I said, 50% job is done when you say it, 50% is when you hear it, right? So please chant. I'll chant few prayers, invocation prayers, and after that, when I start Hare Krishna, let's chant together. This is called congregational chanting. There is japa, and there is sankirtana, and there is congregational chanting. Japa means when you do it alone in your house, and congregational chanting is when we all do it together at the same pace. This will take a little more time than japa. Japa, it takes around 6 to 7 minutes. But when you do it in a congregational way, it's more powerful, and you'll actually take close to 8 to 9 minutes also, right? And Sankirtan is when you all stand up and start dancing, chanting, and we'll do that one day also. Hare Krishna. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswat Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Paschati Deshtarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Ram. Let's start chanting. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki. So when you're chanting, there are actually 16, not 16 words, there are 32 syllables we say. Ha, Re, 2 syllables in one word. Krishna, 2 syllables in one word. Rama, 2 syllables in one word. So 16 words. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. 16 words, but they're actually 32 syllables. So when you're chanting, all the syllables should be clear. You know, it's like Hare Krishna. Na is missing. Or Ram, Ma is missing. Right? Hare Ram, no. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. All the 32 syllables should be, that is the right pronunciation of that name. Right? Should not compromise on that. And try to chant as nicely so that you can hear them. Right? And benefits of chanting, that is the homework for the second week. I'm going to send you a presentation, a video, which I want you to hear, understand why we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Because a lot of them are very reluctant to chant. That's a normal tendency. One old lady was telling her husband, please chant. Husband was saying, can't. So why can't? Instead of saying can't, you can as well say chant. Right? So please, you should start chanting. Chanting is a very scientific process. It's being done, even mantra meditation is now very famous, even in the Western countries. They have realized that what our great sages have done, there is a lot of meaning behind it. To control your mind will happen when you chant. So please chant. We'll just sing Narshing Aarti. You all have that white paper with you. In that there is one Aarti at the end. Always at the end of satsang we sing Narshing Aarti. Please recite after me, not with me. And I request some children in the satsang to start learning the Narshing Aarti, and also some adults also. So each week, each one of you can start learning and doing it. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahladaladadaine. Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha. Shilatankanakalaye. Ito Narsimho Karato Narsimho. Yato Yam Kato Narsimho. Bahir Narsimho Hridaye Narsimho. Narasinghamadiim Sharanam Prapate. Avakara Kamala Bharenaka Makuta Shinga Lalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Brinda Keshavadruta Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Avakara Kamala Bharenaka Adbhuta Shringa Lalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Brinda Keshavadruta Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jayo Narasimha Dev, Narasimha Dev, Narasimha Dev, Jaya Narasimha Dev. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jai Jai Gurudev. Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol. भक्त विघ्ननाश नरसिंह देव भगवान की, भक्त शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज की, ऐसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की, श्रील गुरुदेव की, निताय गौर हरि प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. Why we sing Narsingh Arati is we say Bhakti Vignanashika Narsingh Dev. Any obstacles on the path of bhakti, on the path of learning, Krishna Bhakti or Bhagavad Gita, Narsingh Dev should remove. For example, if your relative is thinking, I'll come to your house on Sunday morning, Narsingh Dev will make sure he'll not come on Sunday morning. Because he's a disturbance for our association, right? That's what even you should do. When a relative is friend, I'm your friend, I'm coming on Sunday morning. So, I'm your friend, come on Sunday afternoon. Simple. Unless you prioritize, he will not prioritize. Very simple, right? There can be 1,000 reasons. Even I have 1,000 reasons to not do a class today. But I keep all that aside and say, today class is happening. And the same thing I also expect from each one of you. Prioritize, prioritize, prioritize. Then everything will fall into place. Okay? So Prashadam is there behind. Where are we serving from? The other side? Right behind. Okay. So please honor Prashadam nicely. Don't waste any Prashadam. Take it to your home also if you want. And honor Prashadam. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. Dandavat.